Elon Musk is worth $750 billion as of January 2026. In the words of Lily Moscovitch,
shut up and listen.
A lot of things going on. It's 2026 at a very crucial turning point in society.
We're really headed into the singularity, as it's called.
Specifically the economy and globalization. Elon Musk and the wealth of Black and brown and disenfranchised people. This video, I can tell, is going to ruffle a lot of feathers. I'm talking to people who are able to understand, or at least try to understand, a different way of thinking. Elon Musk is worth $750 billion as of January 2026. Now, Elon Musk has his hand in many businesses. I follow him insanely. I've been following him for a while. And I will say that he's going to be a trillionaire by 60 to 65 years old if he lives. And besides Tesla, besides X, besides a few other companies that he's been invested in for a long time, SpaceX. SpaceX is projected to be the biggest IPO in history. This man is already 3/4 of the way to a trillionaire. He only needs a little boost just from either SpaceX or his Tesla options that he has as the CEO of Tesla to get him to the finish line. That's not the point. He's going to get it there. What we have to now understand is his patterns. I was in Argentina when I was 20 years old, and I learned that there is a very strong correlation between strict identity politics and social immobility. When I was there, it was the anti-Peronista and the Peronista. And it was so severe that people didn't even talk to other people or friends or family members to understand the other side. Honestly, that's kind of human nature, but that's happening a lot on social media in the US, and we're moving towards that. And I think that it's a very dangerous place to be in, because it works if you're already rich. If you're rich and you are in a society of social immobility, that's fine. But if you are not rich and you are in a society of social mobility, you're screwed. So back to Elon. Elon Musk has done a very noteworthy thing. He has essentially diplomatized himself. He was on the left, and then more recently, he was extremely heavy in on the right. I think that his ultimate goal is to craft the independent party to be able to have 5 to 10% of the voting party to switch lines. Different video. He showed us the accumulation of wealth is a diplomatic mindset. Regimes and administrations shift. So understanding how to build and accumulate wealth, no matter who's in office, no matter who's in Congress, is important. The hyperfixation on Trump is evil, Elon Musk is evil, and I'm a bit worried. And we're being trained to get upset, and we're being trained to essentially see the evil in what the administration is doing. And I'm not saying that what they're doing is not evil, but if you fix your lens to only see bad things and not opportunity, you won't know where the opportunity lies to essentially build wealth. Why Elon Musk reaching trillionaire status is important.
Improvement of the AI and the accelerating timeline.
Yeah, it's called singularity for a reason. What happens after the event horizon?
Exactly. You can't.
What he's showing us is that he is looking and invested into businesses and industries that he believes is the future, and that's going to essentially cross him to that trillionaire line. Just because a multi-hundred billionaire has the means to make more money does not mean that we also are restricted from that. If Elon Musk is looking at ways to make $250 billion, which essentially is to increase his net worth by 33%. There are opportunities and industries that he's looking into that's going to deliver that to him. So in my mind, as 2 finance degrees, I'm very diplomatic. I stand for my political beliefs. I have a heart, I have a soul, I have a culture, I have all these things. But I'm also a man in a man's world. And yeah, money. Back to SpaceX, projected to be the biggest IPO ever in history. And disassociate yourself from the hate you have for Trump, the hate you have for Elon Musk. He is about to launch the biggest IPO in history in an industry. For the first time ever with the past decade or so, NASA and a lot of companies are going into space. They are combining with private companies to go into space. They have plans about mining in space, mining asteroids, obviously Mars and colonizing space, NASA go back to the moon, all of these things. Space is the next frontier. So many people know all of the quote unquote bad that Trump and Elon has done and what they're doing, but at the end of the day, there are windows to peek into opportunity. Aerospace and defense, space mining, all of the like, it's a smaller industry now. If you have an industry that's small and that's waiting for the growth that AI and quantum computing can bring, there's a chance that a rising tide will raise all ships. SpaceX, that is not public yet, is essentially funding the mission to Mars with all of the infrastructure and network and satellites that they're building. So SpaceX is actually making it cheaper to launch things off of Earth into space, which means that they're going to be the middleman for other companies to also explore, to do research, to have data centers in the moon and space. Even if this is all 30 years away, it's important because of compound interest. If you're in a country in an opportunity where you have the ability to invest in these early stage companies before we have a big public display such as SpaceX, we have an opportunity to enter industry before a big rising tide raises all the ships. Really, like, this is the time to listen to all of the executive orders that Trump is doing, because one thing about it is that Trump won, okay? Trump won. So anything that he's going to do is going to have political and economic and global impact. So we have to listen to what he's doing without saying he's evil. If he does evil things, okay, that's not fine, but that's a fact. He's proving himself to be who we thought he was years ago. Look at what he's doing. Understand what the private industries, economies are putting money behind and honestly watching. China and Russia are also pressing to go to the moon. They're pressing in quantum research and AI. A lot of these countries are also on the verge of new technological improvement. There is no opportunity in confirming your hate for somebody or your dislike for somebody that has shown you reasons to dislike them, who is not changing. I don't need to hear from another influencer how much Trump is messing up the country. We should know by now. Why are we not listening to opportunities? Why are we not listening to people to understand where to put our money? And even if it's a small section, if you would have put $500 into Netflix in 2004, that would be worth over $500,000. We should be looking at those early companies, these industries that Elon Musk and Trump, a lot of billionaires, are seeing opportunity in. If I choose 5 to 20 of them, you can expect that if you hold it for 20 to 30 years, that will be like a little rocket ship to your investment portfolio. Seeing Elon Musk almost hit trillionaire status, aside of the emotions that we can feel about it, it is an opportunity for us to understand and to see that even he sees opportunities in industry, and we can also follow that. And it's not about us making billions of dollars. You can start out with a few hundred. You can start out with a few thousand. At the end of the day, I think that it is very important for us to understand that these billionaires are getting richer, but they're not the only ones getting richer, because their companies are built off of the backs of other employees who are more like us. They have big stock packages, and those employees want the company to grow and to get more revenue because they're going to get paid more in their stock prices and in the stock packages. You don't lose any sleep at night by acknowledging and confirming that the administration, whether you like them or not, they are the same people who they said they would be. We can understand, take note for midterms at the end of 2026, take note for 2028, but at the end of the day, being diplomatic with our financial mindset to be able to still build wealth. Quantum research, artificial intelligence, or space exploration. One of these three industries, if not all three, will be potentially massive in 30 to 50 years. And the effects of compound interest are going to allow us to benefit heavily from them. We can accept and put a check that we are anti or pro whoever. That's fine. This is just to maybe rage bait you all slightly, me expressing an exchange of thoughts and opinions. There are many people like me. There are people even better than me that are making much more quality and consistent content. I think that it's time for us to look at Elon Musk as the greatest anti-hero of our generation. He has a very anti-hero journey, especially the American citizen. We are in one of the few countries that has an immense amount of social mobility, aka you can be born poor and die rich and no one bats an eye. In other countries, that's not the case. This is not my pro-Elon or pro-Trump or turn a MAGA type of situation, even though Nicki Minaj. First things first, let motherfuckers know that I rap. I have my own opinions, I have my own thoughts. It's a hot topic. Perspective. Invest, look for investing, and focus on where the opportunity lies. You don't gain anything from understanding more that you don't like a person who is not changing or acting different. But you can gain by looking at what they're doing and following potentially the investments of billionaires.